MonsterBuild, the Palm Jumeirah, 120 million cubic meters of sand, 7 million tons of rock, 5,600 hectares of new land created in the Persian Gulf, an island shaped like a palm tree, built from scratch, visible from space. Dubai did this in 5 years. This is how. In 2001, Dubai had a problem that sounds like a luxury problem, but was actually an economic survival problem. The emirate was running out of coastline. The existing beaches were nearly fully developed, and Dubai's entire economic strategy depended on attracting tourists and residents with waterfront property. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid had a simple idea. If you need more coastline, build more coast. The Palm Jumeirah would add 72 kilometers of new beachfront to a city that previously had only 70 kilometers total. The engineering challenge was unlike anything attempted before. They needed to build a stable landmass in open water, shaped like a specific design that could support hotels, residences, and roads, and withstand decades of wave action, storms, and the slow settlement that naturally occurs when you pile sand on a seafloor. The company hired to execute it was Nakheel Properties. The dredging contractor was Van Oud, a Dutch firm with deep experience in land reclamation. The Dutch, who have been building land from water for 400 years, were the right call. The first task was the breakwater, a crescent-shaped barrier of rock that would encircle the entire palm and protect it from wave energy. 7 million tons of rock, quarried from the mountains of the UAE and transported by barge, were placed in a crescent 11 kilometers long. This had to go in first, before the palm itself, because without wave protection the sand would simply wash away as fast as they dredged it. Then came the sand, 120 million cubic meters of it, dredged from the floor of the Persian Gulf using a fleet of specialized ships. The sand was sprayed into position through giant pipes in a process called rainbowing. The ship pumps the sand-water mixture in a high arc and it lands in the target zone. But rainbowing is imprecise at the scale required. To build fronds that align to within meters of the design, engineers used GPS-guided positioning systems to track every dredging vessel and every cubic meter of sand placed. The tolerance was centimeters. In the open ocean, the 16 fronds of the palm presented the greatest challenge. Each frond had to be a specific width and length, separated from its neighbors by channels deep enough for boats to navigate. Building them required sequential placement. You could not build 2 fronds simultaneously because the sand from one would migrate into the channel meant to separate it from the next. Each frond was built, allowed to compact, monitored, adjusted, and then the next one started. The process took years just for the fronds alone. Sand compaction was a constant concern. Loose dredged sand does not behave like solid ground. Under the weight of buildings, it compresses. The compression is uneven, causing differential settlement. Some parts sink faster than others, which cracks foundations and distorts structures. Engineers used a technique called vibrocompaction, driving steel probes deep into the sand and vibrating them to densify the material around them. Thousands of probe insertions across the entire island. The goal was to make the dredged sand behave like natural ground. The environmental damage was severe and largely irreversible. The dredging operation destroyed approximately 50 square kilometers of seafloor habitat in the Persian Gulf. Seagrass beds that fish and marine life depended on were smothered. Coral formations that had developed over thousands of years were buried. Water circulation in the area was disrupted, causing algae blooms and reducing oxygen levels in parts of the Gulf near the construction. Marine biologists raised alarms throughout the project. Nakheel later installed artificial reefs along the breakwater, which have attracted marine life, but the original ecosystem is gone. The Palm Jumeirah opened for residents in 2006. The Atlantis Resort on the Crescent opened in 2008. Today the island is home to approximately 78,000 residents and contains over 5,000 luxury villas and apartments, 40 hotels, and 50 restaurants. Property on the Palm commands some of the highest prices per square meter in Dubai. A villa on the trunk recently sold for over $30 million. The island has been sinking, not dramatically, not dangerously, but measurably. Satellite monitoring shows the Palm has settled an average of 5 millimeters per year since completion. Some sections have sunk more than 15 millimeters total. For an island built on compacted seafloor sand, this was anticipated. The buildings were designed with this settlement factored in. Engineers monitor it continuously, so far within the predicted range. The Palm Jumeirah permanently changed what humans thought was possible in land creation. 2 more Palm Islands were planned, Palm Jebel Ali and Palm Dara. Palm Jebel Ali was partially built and then paused. Palm Dara, which would have been 5 times the size of Palm Jumeirah, barely started before the 2008 financial crisis halted the project. The world also saw the world, another Dubai project creating 300 islands in the shape of a world map. Most of those islands remain uninhabited. The ambition of early 2000s Dubai was extraordinary. Some of it worked, some of it sits half-built in the Gulf. The Palm Jumeirah worked. Follow MonsterBuild for the biggest builds on Earth, explained. Link in bio.